All right, so story time. Check this out. This happened like a few days ago too. So there was, I be on like this little dating site or whatever, and so I was on there or whatever, woo, and there was this girl or whatever. She messaged me, and she was all like, we was talking for a minute, and I was like, she was like, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. How are you? And she was like, I'm doing good. Da da da. She was like, you want to hook up? And I'm like, shit, fuck it. I'm like, I mean, for sure, you know what I'm saying? And then so we took it off the dating site. So I don't care what y'all say about me in the end of this. Don't don't judge me. Don't judge me. So what happened was, basically, I don't know if y'all know, but I am a stud. Yes, I do identify as a masculine presenting woman. However, I am not. I don't. I'm not gonna put my business out there. Well, I kind of probably already have. I think I don't remember, but you know what I'm saying. Like, let's just say, like for me, it's been a few years. I didn't turn lesbian until like 2019, so it's been like, damn, like 6 years, 7 years. I wanted to say that, but like like I wasn't really like with my last ex. Like we was, like we was a little like we was intimate and shit physically, but it was just oof. It was a terrible mistake. And if you ever watch this video, bitch, I just want you to know my mama gonna beat your ass, and she already said it. But anyway, so look, boom. I am always going to be, as you guys know, I am HSV1 positive, so I'm always going to be honest about that. So, ladies, if you ever trying to, date Alize, she's single, ready to mingle. But seriously, on some real shit, I am HSV1 positive and I have no problem with it. Like, the only thing is that I'm going to be honest about my status. Like, I'm going to keep it a buck 150. I might not tell you like right away when we're talking, but eventually, like, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna let you, like, I'm gonna tell you in the beginning. I'm not gonna tell you when I'm, sleeping with, like, after I sleep with you and put my mouth on you and all this other stuff, because I've learned a lot about HSV1 and I will talk about that in another video. But anyway, let's get back to the story. Boom. So, Shotty wanted to hook up, and, I had to make sure she wasn't catfish. But we gonna talk about the next story. We gonna talk about that story later. So anyway, boom. So Shotty was like, want to hook up, whatever, with the woo. So she was like, you want to move it off the app? Boom. So we exchanged numbers. Woo. We exchanged numbers. We talking, we texting, and I'm trying to, get to know you a little bit because I'm gonna just be honest. I'm my granny's granddaughter. Okay, period. I represent my grandmother. I'm not. I'm not. I know as an adult, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with hooking up, but I've realized for me, I'm not the hooking up type of person. That's not the kind of woman I am. I do have morals. I have nothing against other people that hook up. There's nothing wrong with hooking up as long as you're safe. But the only reason is because me, after catching HSV1, I I I'm a little paranoid. So look, boom. So we was talking whatever, and she was talking about like, so do you want to hook up or do you want something more? And I was like, I really don't care because I was like, I'm not really looking. And no, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I want one? I mean, it would be nice, but I'm not looking, if that makes sense. So I'm not really like pursuing anybody. So I was just like, oh, okay, or pursuing anything with anyone. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. She was like, no, 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 no. I was like, yeah, I'm not really looking for much, or like, not like looking for much, but yeah, like, I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm cool with it. Whatever goes down. She's like, me too, whoop de woo, blah, blah, blah. So we set up a date that we were supposed to hook up. Now, remind you, I know a lot of my studs gonna be like, why wasn't you prepared? I never think like that because I'm not thinking about, I'm not like every other stud, or you feel me? Like, I don't be carrying my book bag on deck. Like, I don't be like, like having my strap and in my bag. You feel me? And everything. No, I mean I did. Like, you know how many times I bought a dildo, bruh? Like, oh my gosh, I spent and only spent like a certain amount on Amazon because I got this one off of Amazon. But my last dildo that I got, I spent about 100 some, and that bit was long and thick. You heard me? But also real shit. I don't know why I threw it away. I never used them. So anyway, I never really, because in my mind I wasn't like, I was like, well, I ain't fucking nobody, so why do I have to have? Oh, my bad. I ain't having no relations with nobody, but why do I have to have this on deck? So she over here talking about, this what we gonna do, and I'm like, damn, I ain't even got like the actual like the strap on. Like I don't even have my strap on because I lost my strap on when before I had moved, and I was like, damn, I ain't even got the strap on. And then I also was like, oh, so I wasn't really like, we had set a date, but I was like, oh, you feel me? Let me like get the strap on. Let me order it. Just last minute shit. I was like, okay, everything gonna be good. Everything gonna be Gucci. Tell me why she hits me up and she like, what you doing, wooty woo? And I'm like, I'm not doing nothing. Like this is like a few days prior before the meeting of us meeting each other, because she lives a little bit further out, not like too far, but she lives by my job, which I will not disclose where I work. So she lives by my job or whatever. And she was just out like in this area just for like I guess a few days or whatever. She was visiting her mama. But anyway, and so boom. She hits me a few days prior and we talking and she's like, what you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just, I'm about to, you know, I was like, oh, I'm chilling before I go to work. And she like, what time you go to work? And then because the train, the Monday and Fridays I take the train. So Monday and Fridays, the train they come later because I start my job at 11, so they come a little bit later. They come like around like 8, like the train come. No. Is it 8:11? Yeah, 8:11. So and it's like an hour to get there. So I get there probably like 9:40 something. An hour and a few minutes, like an hour and 40 minutes, depending, because we got so many stops in between. So boom, she talking about, so that's why I said I was gonna get ready at 7 o'clock because I was finna leave because the last train come at 10, but if I leave, I'm gonna be like an hour and 40 minutes late for work, and we don't need that. So anyway, boom. So she was talking about like, oh, she was like, well, she gonna say, oh, you getting ready or whatever. She was like, yeah, because I said I'm not finna get ready till like 7, and I think it was like around like 5 or something. And she was like, well, you could eat me then. I said what? So I know what that means. I know what that means. I'm not retarded, but not like I'm thinking like to myself like, eat you, like, because you feel me, like the first thing that came to mind was, you feel me, I'm not finna just put my mouth on her because one, I don't know where your cooter cat been, baby. And you don't know where my lips been. So it's like, and I don't even know your last name and you talking about you feel me? But then I was just like, okay. And so I called her because I told her call me or whatever, and she called me and we had a conversation over the phone, whoopty woo. And so we having a conversation over the phone or whatever. And I told her, I said, look, you feel me? I was like, I'm not a hoe. I don't just be going around doing that. And I even asked her, like, how many times have you done this? And then she was all like, oh, she did it once, whatever. And it just kind of was just so, it amazed me at how she was willing to just do it. You know what I'm saying? And then I told her, I said, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I don't want to just put my mouth on you like that. You feel me? I ain't even got no dental dams. You feel me? So dental dams, and I barely heard about dental dams because I've been researching and learning a lot more about oral herpes. So I was just like, okay, let me learn more about these dental dams. They said dental dams, if you don't know what dental dams are, they protect you. It's kind of like, you could use a condom actually, but dental dams are kind of like this protection that you use to put over the vulva. So any woman that you giving, oral to, you can do that. It still stimulates the person and stimulates your partner. However, it protects you from any STDs and, like oral herpes or even genital herpes. It protects you from diseases. It says that it could prevent you from getting anything or that person getting anything. So I was just like, oh, like this the last minute, you want me to do this. And I'm like, damn, I gotta, you feel me? So I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm not finna just rush myself to, and I told her, she was like, just buy some. And I was like, it's not that easy. Like, you can't just go to any store around here and there's dental dams. Cause I was looking. And so what happened was I did break the ice to her and tell her, like, look, I got HSV1 and I don't want to just, put my mouth on you like that. And then she was like, who cares? And then I was like, I'm not even prepared. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm like, my room's a mess. Da, 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 da. She's like, I don't care. I don't care. Da, da, da. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, and then she's like, I look good right now, this, that, and the third. And I was just like, what? And so when I told her I had HSV1, she was like, do you take medication? I said, yeah, I take medication for it. And she was like, then you're not contagious. And I was like, no, I'm still contagious because a lot of people don't know that if you have oral herpes, like an outbreak in your mouth, you have oral herpes and you proceed to give another person oral, they will get it. They will get it. And the reason they will get it is because even without the outbreak, you are still contagious. I know it sounds crazy. Look it up. I ain't lying. So that's why they say use dental dams. Talk to your partner. You know, some people say you can't get it. However, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had any. After that, I haven't had any more sexual experience to actually, like really go out there and perform to really tell you, like, okay, people have called me back and said, Alize, you gave me this. You feel me? No. But anyway, this was going to be my time to finally hook up and, get it in. I wasn't prepared, and, y'all got to be prepared. Make sure you prepare so you ain't got to get prepared like me. But I think, like, when I actually started to think about things, because I was changing my mind and I was like, fuck it, maybe we can. And then she was like, nah, I'm good. And I think what made her say that was because she she probably, because a lot of people be like, damn, you got an STD, like, do I really want to risk that? STI, you feel me? So you kind of got to like think about stuff like that. But I wasn't even sad about the situation. I was just more like disappointed in myself because, and I told her, I said, I should have told you from the beginning, but maybe I wasn't really thinking clearly, because in my mind I was thinking like it would be nice to hook up with somebody, but at the same time that's not what I want. I don't just want to be like someone's hookup and just, be, because I'm giving you pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't really satisfying me. You're receiving pleasure, and I am a giver, but still, it's like, what am I getting out of this? What am I gaining out of this? It's nothing. I don't know your last name. You don't know my last name. We just hooking up, and then we just, and I just don't like that. I'm not a part of the hookup culture. I'm very old school, and I want to actually build a genuine connection with somebody. So I really had to think about that. And I was like, and towards the end, I was just having doubts about it because it was so weird. Because she was just so willing to just give it up, and I was just like, "Damn, what the fuck?" Like these youngest nowadays be really willing to give it up. So it and and so it just kind of made me, I don't know, it just made me feel like something was a little off. So I just kind of was like, nah, maybe it's a good thing that it didn't happen. And so, for me, I would say for people, if you are going to hook up with people, make sure that you're safe. Make sure you're using protection. Unless you actually trust the person and y'all show each other y'all stats. You feel me? And, if you do have something, don't be afraid to let the other person know. Because one thing I hate about people is people that do not tell you that they have anything and they just go ahead and give it to you free willy nilly. You know how many connections that I've sacrificed because of my status, because I've told people and I've been honest with them? I've connected with a lot of women, but a lot of women were not okay with that. And that's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's very scary. I'd be scared too. But at the same time, it was just more so like, it's all right. You're not my person. I'm not your person. You feel me? The connection was cool. It was all right. But yeah, but moral of the story, like, when I was really thinking to myself, I was like, nah, I'm not, and I kind of felt some type of way because I was like, damn, am I lame for not hooking up? But in all actual honesty, that's just not how I am. Like, I'm not the hooking up type of woman. Like, I've never been like that. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 18. And the guy I lost my virginity to, I hated. I was not clingy to him afterwards. I hated that nigga. I genuinely did. And if you ever see this, no, nigga, I still don't like you. But anyway, yeah, like, I don't go around just having sex with everybody and anybody. It's just not in my nature. And it's no offense to nobody else, but baby, it's not even about the STDs. Your spirit, your spiritual demons. You feel me? But anyway, that happened. That's my little hookup story. Well, not my hookup story, but supposed hookup that was supposed to happen. But any stories you would like for me to tell you, baby, I got more stories coming at y'all, more juicy ones. And I'm definitely going to be doing it while I'm eating. And we're going to be eating a good, healthy meal. I'm also going to try to post some more videos of other places. I might be posting, or I might have another YouTube channel. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to start posting little restaurants that I go and try out, and I'm gonna try out for y'all because I'm a little foodie. I'm a little foodie baby. All right, I love y'all. Bye.